Last month, I went back to my hometown in China. It was my first time back in more than 5 years. I was so happy to reunite with my parents and friends there, and as a stamp collector, I did some extreme philately and revisited my childhood stamp collections. You might have noticed that I first started to collect stamps back in the year 2003 and rediscovered this hobby during the COVID lockdown in 2020. I once lost interest in stamps and stopped collecting, so it would be interesting to see what I had collected before. I brought these stockbooks back to London and let's discover them together. There will be no detailed information about stamps in this video. It's just a show off. Well, not even quite a show off because there's nothing rare in my collection. Here are 3 stockbooks. The large one is my Chinese album. This one was my first ever stockbook and I turned it into my foreign album. And this one was the stockbook of my aunt. And I almost forgot what was in my stockbooks, but after I reviewed them, a lot of memories flooding back. Let's start from the Chinese album. I didn't really sort these stamps, so these were issued in 1998. 4 stamps form a long picture, and here are stamps issued during the 1950s. And these are stamps issued during the period of the Republic of China and feature Sandy Cent, the father of the nation. And this page, I got definitive stamps feature Tiananmen, and these are the first commemorative stamps of the People's Republic of China, and some modern Chinese stamps, including the joint issue between Germany and China. Oh, I remember these 2 stamps so well. It was a gift from my primary school classmate. He was actually the person who inspired me to collect stamps. We discussed and swapped stamps, but didn't always give stamps as gifts. But in one day he said to me, "I've noticed how much you love these stamps, so they are yours." And I'm sure he didn't have any duplicates at that time, so I was very touched and grateful, but unfortunately I lost contact with him. The stamps feature a political figure named Peng Zhen. I wasn't really familiar with that person and just loved the design of the stamps. So move on. These are the joint issue between China and Iran. So I got some blocks of the Chinese zodiac stamps. And here I have the Year of the Monkey stamp of Hong Kong issued in 2004. This is definitely a gift from my mom. And I am a monkey, and 2004 was the first Year of the Monkey other than the year I was born. And also these stamps from Macau also features a monkey, the Monkey King, but they are not zodiac stamps. And here I got some Mei-Qins of Hong Kong. The joint issue between China and Switzerland. I really love the joint issue, but I only got the stamps of China. I should try to get the stamps from the other countries too. And here are my Chinese zodiac stamps collection from 1980 Year of the Monkey. This is counterfeit, just to fill the gap. So from 1981 all the way to the year 2015. I have mentioned these stamps several times. They were issued in the year I was born, so 1992. And the first stamps with the English word China. So moving on to more modern stamps. And here we have the stamps of Beijing Olympics and Shanghai Expo. And this is my favorite series of definitive stamps. They feature the traditional dwellings across China. And I even have a stamp of the Qing dynasty. So from the overprint, we can see it's a post-due stamp. I really need to sort these stamps. And these are the Year of the Monkey stamps issued in 2016. I left the space for the other zodiac stamps, but I stopped. So I actually stopped collecting stamps in 2016, much later than I thought. Let's move to my foreign album. And first we can see the Year of the Monkey stamp issued by Australia and Canada. Again, they were gifts from my mom. And here are many Japanese stamps. I'm sure they were from the letters sent by my aunt who lives in Japan. So during the 1990s and early 2000s, the internet was in its early stage and international calls were quite expensive. So letters were the dominant means of communication. And you can see the pen cancellations on these stamps. They were from the same puzzle box. I can't remember where the Anguilla, Lesotho, and Grenada stamps from, but the stamps of Canada, Germany, and the US were probably from the letters and postcards sent by my father, who was an ocean transport crewman in the 1990s. And here, I got quite a few stamps of North Korea. I bought them when I visited the border city of Dandong back in 2004, and I'm sure they are CTOs. I'd like to mention these stamps from Israel. When I was in primary school, I not only had friends to discuss and swap stamps with, but I also asked other classmates for used envelopes. One girl's uncle worked in Israel, so she gave me an envelope and I got this stamp. And similarly, one boy's mom worked in the UK and I got these Mei-chings. I didn't know they were called Mei-chings, and at that time and even thought the country stamps were quite boring, but now I collect Mei-chings. They were actually from a puzzle. So you can see the tape on this stamp. They are definitely not in a good condition, but I will keep them for the special memory. And let's move on. As I mentioned, I need to sort them. So I got many stamps of Australia. I bought a bag of used stamps when I visited Australia back in 2007. So here they are. And last one is my aunt's stockbook. And yes, the lady who lives in Japan. She moved to Japan back in 1996 and left her stockbook in China. She wasn't into stamps anymore, so I got this stockbook. The stamps she collected were mostly issued between 1960s to 1980s. Like me, she didn't really sort them. I moved some stamps to my Chinese album and also put some duplicates here. I'm sorry, Auntie, I didn't treat your stockbook well, but this one is still in a good condition. I'm going to make a good use of it. My childhood collections only include stamps but no cards and covers. That's because I was just interested in stamps. What I loved most was sorting envelopes and postcards to get used stamps. If I were to receive these items today, I would probably keep the stamps on covers and cards to preserve those memories. And I can remember that I even attempted to remove stamps from a first day cover, but stopped it by my mom. She didn't know much about philately, but at least she knew that it wasn't the right thing to do. It was a great era when people wrote letters and used stamps, and I had friends who could discuss and swap stamps with me every day. Those times will never come back. But I'm not trying to say this is a bad era. It's even not about bad or good. It's just different. I also enjoy sharing my stories and knowledge through the online philatelic community. And still, I'm not just collecting stamps, but also collecting stories, memories, and history. Thank you for listening to my story. As always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and follow me on social media if you haven't done already. See you next time.